was, well, it was my body who was speaking, but I was not listening. And then, of course, it impacted my energy. My nervous system, as I mentioned before, learning tools about how to regulate my nervous system were my focus for the past years. And we are not, I don't think that we pay enough attention to that when we are in the sector. And if you know a little bit about sympathetic and parasympathetic systems, on the nervous systems, in the humanitarian sector, we are always on the sympathetic, active, action, survival mode, non-stop. You don't have time to rest. You don't have time to breathe. You are sick. No, and we get into that role. And at some point, I not just that I was feeling tired, sick, of course, losing motivation, losing sometimes like even maybe a little bit angry or mad or grumpy. These are signals of your body speaking, something is not going well. Something is not, when you are extremely, and I'm extremely sensitive, and I was always blaming myself because I am super sensitive. I am really emotional. Maybe I am really too much, and I am not being able to respond quickly and to be strong enough. That's not actually the healthy, the health of the nervous. That's not a healthy way to live in our system. So my body was screaming. I felt that, and my mood, my energy. If we are not feeling regulated and healthy, how can we support others? So yeah, answering to your question, it was clearly my body, my system screaming. And actually, and that pushed me to make a step and to take the decision, which was not easy neither. I didn't want to. My mind was playing there. My ego was having a fight with my body. And even I was listening for opinions of others telling me, no, don't leave because you will lose the career and the continuity. But my body was screaming.
Me, I think it was also first body, and the second, I would say, what changed it was place. And the way that I see it, I mean, I am in midlife. I just made it to 50 this year. And I started noticing first that I was like, my body was not reacting to current things in the same way. I blamed it on COVID because, you know, we were going through all of this transition all together. And I was even thinking that I might have long COVID or something because there were things that were not happening. And then I realized that at this age, women tend to go through perimenopause and menopause. And actually, it was an interesting shift to realize that my body was needing different things. And I was not necessarily able to pinpoint what it was. I mean, it took me, I think, 3-4 years to realize that it was something else, that it was not just work. There was also the feeling that I was not in the place that I wanted to go. And that's what I say, it was body and place. And the combination of both made me feel that I was kind of losing the joy of doing things. And I'm extremely passionate in everything that I do. And it was this nagging feeling that I'm not in the place that I want to be. At the time I was living in Atlanta. And while now it's interesting because I look at it and when I go back, I love it and I love to be there. But while I was there, it felt like it was not the right place. And I made the decision to kind of pack everything and come back to a place of joy that I had experienced before, which is Washington, D.C. That's why everything is dark right here. That was my first step to that. It was kind of calling, like, you need to make changes. This is not working. And I, even if I am a firm believer that your circumstances are not necessarily the ones that actually drive what you can or cannot do, a lot of it is a mindset thing. It was interesting because that choosing to be in the right place, and it resonates with me what Chiara was saying, like I'm trying to find where I need to settle. That was definitely a very interesting shift, because once I felt in the right place, a lot of things are starting to reorient and feel like things were falling into place. The organization that I was working at made a restructuring, and I was let go nearly 2 years ago. And it was very interesting because the moment that I step out of the organization and I was in a very different setup, I started blooming. I started feeling so aligned. I started to reconnecting not only with myself, but with a lot of people, or even connecting with new people that I had never connected with. And it was very liberating. Something that I thought it was like my whole identity. I was leading a team and doing global work, both in the US and international. And it really felt like, oh, okay, like I can actually think of becoming someone else and reconnecting.
When I could decide to sign up for another year of a mission. But also I was thinking, the way we're thinking in the humanitarian world and the settings and how we approach responses, it is very interesting in every country, every context. Everything is different. Every team is different. Every role is different. However, it felt as if I was curious to what else is there. What is the connection with the private sector? What is the connection with sustainable development? Where do we add value? What are our skill sets? What can we bring, basically? It's a topic that has been discussed many times, but when I started my MBA, executive MBA in Rotterdam in the Netherlands, first of all, it allowed me to be home. And that felt really good. It gave me some peace of mind to be close to family and friends, because I always wondered, did I do enough when I was in the field? But when I was home, I was always had a feeling like I'm not there enough. So I felt a bit in between. On the one hand, I could have done more on missions. On the other hand, I felt like the last decade I wasn't home as much. Although my body didn't show specific signs, when I had this moment of clarity to step in and to tell my previous supervisor, let's say, like, I'm really sorry, but I'm next year I'm gonna choose to do studies over an extension of this mission. I was very afraid to come into the room, and I actually felt like, okay, I'm letting the team down and letting the mission down. This is not the right moment to make this change, but it felt right for myself. So this moment, I was close to tears, and she said, like, well, 𝗬𝗍𝗂, there's still space for you to come back, and it's actually good to explore other things. So that shifted my mindset. I was thinking, okay, that's a good thing. And when I was with my classmates as well, 17 in total, we started in January, I felt that the skills we have are transferable. People did understand, okay, I didn't have enough understanding of marketing or corporate finance. However, other topics and the way we approach things, because we're so proactive in things and thinking of how to coordinate, how to link with everyone. Think of how people that you're working with, what their perception is, how they can add to your team. Those kind of skills we use every day in the humanitarian sector. And you can use them in other roles, in other disciplines. And getting that clarity, not from yourself, but from others around you, other students, other colleagues, it was really helpful. It gave me the opportunity to see things differently, to try things differently, to question how we worked, to be critical, to be reflective. And actually, when you're in the mission itself, you have no time for this. There's no time. Either there's time for family, time to breathe for a week, and then you're back. But that of course, Chiara said it very well, that's never enough.